Ow. Okay, that hurt. Ooh, a book. Don't mind if I do. Alright, what do we got here? Oh, it's Wicked by Gregory Maguire. You know, I heard this is pretty popular. Okay, that was weird. Anyways, this book is kind of like a spin-off book from the original Wizard of Oz that was made back in 1900. And go ahead if you must, call me a sentimental man. Okay, I know I heard something that time. This is ridiculous. This doesn't make sense. It defies... Hello, Archive. This was you, wasn't it? Let's just start the video. Now, as stated earlier, today's book is Wicked by Gregory Maguire. Our special guest narrator today is Cat Mackay. All contact information will be in the description below, as per usual. Alright, Cat, take it away.
Green skin. No easy burden in a land as mean and poor as Oz, where superstition and magic are not strong enough to explain or overcome the natural disasters of flood and famine. Still, Elphaba is smart, and by the time she enters Shiz University, she becomes a member of a charmed circle of Oz's most promising young citizens. But Elphaba's Oz is no utopia. The wizard's secret police are everywhere. Animals, those creatures with voices, souls, and minds, are threatened with exile. Young Elphaba, green and wild, and misunderstood, is determined to protect the animals, even if it means combating the mysterious wizard, even if it means risking her single chance at romance. Even wiser in guilt and sorrow, she can find herself grateful when the world declares her a witch, and she can even make herself glad for that young girl from Kansas.
That was an amazing job there, Kat. Now on to the summary. Now for those of you who usually leave by now, if you stay on, we're going to be comparing the differences between the musical and the book. But before we can do that, I am required to say this. Any and all images used after this point in the video are completely and utterly used for the sake of satire and review. I do not own these images, I do not claim that I own these images or created these images, and they are owned by their proper owners, studios, and so on. We cool, big guy?
Yes.
Alright, before I talk your ear off, I want to just say this book is a 9 out of 10 for me. The reason why it's not a 10 out of 10 is because it introduces some advanced topics that might go over some people's head and confuse them. Spoiler warning ahead. The differences between the book and the film / musical are like night and day. A lot of people are getting upset after reading the book and realizing it's not like the musical, and there's a very good reason for that. The book runs on 3 consistent themes: philosophy, religion, and... Now, very obviously, you can't show that type of stuff on stage. The musical mainly focuses on the friendship with Glinda and Elphaba's time at university, and then the events that led to her becoming the Wicked Witch. The book, however, gives Elphaba's entire story, from when she's born all the way up to where she's melted in The Wizard of Oz. I think everyone's main concern is that the musical / film that recently came out was advertised more towards children, and the parents don't want their kids looking at the original source material because they consider it too raunchy and intense. And yes, the book is intense because it was written with an older audience in mind. If the book was actually verbatim made into a film, the film itself would be rated R, and here's why. Here's a list of crimes that Elphaba committed when she was an adult. Adultery, murder, political assassination / terrorism, robbery, arson, and kidnapping. Dorothy. Alright, now let's do some character comparisons. Elphaba. In the book, she's born with sharp teeth like a piranha. They fall out like baby teeth eventually. She does not wear black because it's her favorite color or it's the only thing that her family gave her to wear. She actually joined a group of religious nuns, not by choice, but out of necessity. Glinda is pretty much the same the entire time. Glinda was taught sorcery, but she didn't have to beg to be taught sorcery like in the movie, and she wasn't really good at it either. Who else? We have Fiyero. Now, Fiyero in the film is this suave-looking prince from another land. Okay, so yes, he was a prince, but he was actually a very young foreign exchange student from a very different cultural group of people. He came to the school with actually tattoos. Not to mention, he also had a very thick accent and spoke in semi-broken English. And then, of course, we have... Sorry, something in my throat there. Bach heavily implied in the movie as the Tin Man, isn't the Tin Man in the book. He's just a munchkin from Munchkinland that grew up with Elphaba when they were really little kids. And he also doesn't end up with Nessa Rose or even remotely date her. And speaking of Nessa Rose, she's the worst culprit out of all of them. Now, I say this because in the movie, Nessa Rose is a paraplegic little girl who is no different from her sister. Now, in the book, ooh boy, Nessa is actually not paraplegic. She has full use of her legs. What Nessa doesn't have full use of are her arms, because she was born without them. Yes, Nessa Rose was born without arms. She's also a religious zealot. And of course, a lot of places, people, and story elements got cut because it's a movie. You can't put the entire book into a movie. It just can't be done. For example, Madame Marble got split into 2 separate characters, but a lot of people didn't notice. And The Wizard of Oz is still a dick. And finally, the musical was actually made because there was a drunken retelling of what the story was about to the guy who made the musical. Like, I'm not making this up. This is a legitimate thing that happened. Go look it up. And there you have it. That was Wicked by Gregory Maguire. And the differences between the book and the movie/musical. Now, if you stayed on this long, I'd like to say thank you. It was a longer form video than what I was used to doing. And I'm happily saying, I'm GR. This has been Gentleman's Romance. Thanks for checking out what we had on the shelf. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more notifications.